Attracting attention in an exotic car used to be so easy. Just scoot over to the local Ferrari or Lamborghini dealership, write a check for something with the engine in the middle, and enjoy as children and adults alike stop and stare as if they're seeing an alien for the very first time. But these days are very different. Social media has made every supercar feel more common than a Toyota Camry. Pop over to your local Cars and Coffee with a Lamborghini, and there will probably be 10 others just like it. So what do you do when the run-of-the-mill supercar just isn't enough anymore?
You call Pagani. Horacio Pagani started his supercar company back in 1992 after he left Lamborghini. Now in 1999, he released his own supercar, the Zonda, which revolutionized the industry. A few years later, the Zonda was finally retired with a new model called the Huayra. And just like how the Zonda got many special editions to end its life, the Huayra is now starting to spawn its own special versions, including what you see here.
This is the Pagani Huayra Roadster, BC. And that BC part has a pretty interesting story. It's the more hardcore, track-focused version of the already outrageous Huayra Roadster. It was named after Horacio Pagani's late friend and very first customer, Benny Caiola. Benny must have been one heck of a guy because the car that bears his name is absolutely incredible.
Behind my head, there sits a 6-liter Pagani V12. It's twin-turbocharged, and it's hand-built specifically by Mercedes-AMG just for this car. No other vehicle in the world uses this engine. And while the coupe version of the Huayra BC makes do with only 745 horsepower, the Roadster gets a little bit of an extra boost. That's right, we've got over 800 horsepower in the Huayra Roadster BC. And what does that feel like? Well, why don't I just show you? Oh my God, here it comes! Whoa! And this German boost machine rockets this car up from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. That's a proper acceleration time. Top speed, 210. That's a proper top speed right there. Pagani managed to squeeze all of that extra power out of this engine very cleverly. You've got 4 water-to-air intercoolers, larger turbos than you get on the standard car, and revised engine management. And all of that adds up to a ton of additional performance. But if you thought this car was all about top speed and acceleration numbers, you'd be wrong. Dead wrong. This car is extremely light, like Ford Fiesta light. The monocoque chassis is made from a bespoke material called carbon titanium. It's both lighter and more flexible and more rigid than just regular old carbon fiber. And everything in here is about weight reduction. No element of the car is allowed to be heavier than it needs to be. You don't have a power retractable convertible roof. It's a one-piece carbon fiber deal. You don't get a modern dual clutch automatic transmission. They use a single clutch. Why? Because it gives you more personality and it saves a bunch of weight. Speaking of that transmission, it's an X-Track unit, and you have flappy paddles up here that you can use to change the car. Of course, those feel lovely, but Pagani went through the trouble of designing this amazing shifter. It's made from a combination of wood and carbon fiber, and the clickiness of it is absolutely amazing. It's not a manual transmission, but it's as near as makes no difference. It feels like a manual transmission, and Pagani tells me that their next generation car, codenamed the C10, will have a proper third pedal. But for now, this sequential transmission is incredible! Woohoo! I love shifting on it. So all of this weight savings really adds up in a big way. It's 66 pounds lighter than the standard Pagani Huayra Roadster. It only weighs 2,755 pounds. This car weighs as much as my Fiesta ST, but with 800 horsepower. How crazy is that? Like I mentioned, the handling on this car is absolutely immense. You've got Pirelli P0 Trofeo R tires that were developed specifically for the Huayra. You know they're special because they say HP right on the rubber for Horatio Pagani. How many other automakers can say that they have the founder's name on the tire? That's pretty special. And the tires add up to create just incredible grip on this car. We've got nearly 2G of lateral force in this car. That helps it stick to the road like absolute glue. And although there's over 800 horsepower coming from that engine, you need all of that to break these tires loose because they're 355 tires in the back. That's one of the widest tires I've ever seen on a road car. And when it comes time to bring all of this beauty and all of this Italian flair down to a screeching halt, Pagani called the big boys. We've got Brembo brakes, 6 pistons in the front, 4 pistons in the rear, and this is one of the most linear brake pedals that I have ever felt, and it really brings this car to a screeching halt. We're doing a decent pace right now, and we're gonna come to a stop! Whew. Yep. These are good brakes.
And I haven't even begun to tell you how special this car feels on the inside. Pagani doesn't just slap an interior together using parts and technology from a mainstream parent company. Every single piece of this cabin is handcrafted from the ground up using a treasure trove of materials. The shifter, for example, doesn't even need to be there because of course you can just use the paddle shifters on the wheel, but Pagani designed this beautiful exposed linkage so that you could see the mechanical nature of the transmission. Many supercars these days have switched to digital gauges housed on a screen, but Pagani recognizes that the speedometer and tachometer should be works of art. Yes, a digital watch or an Apple Watch tells time like a Rolex, but a Rolex is much more pretty to look at.
So if you're looking to attract the most attention at your local Cars and Coffee event, this is the car. It is completely immeasurable. You could park this next to a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and those cars would look like Camrys by comparison. The amount of detail work here, from the carbon fiber to the hand-painted stripes, it's absolutely immeasurable. It creates such a pizzazz. But unfortunately, pizzazz doesn't come cheap.
The price tag is steep at around $3.5 million, and only 40 lucky people will be allowed to take home one of these masterpieces. Now, you may have found yourself fortunate in life to take home a very fast car like a Tesla Model S Plaid or a Nissan GTR, and yes, those cars will technically keep up with the Pagani on paper. But paper is such a boring place to live your life. All you care about is straight line speed to impress your friends at the drag strip. Then maybe you'd be better off getting a Tesla or a tuned Nissan GTR. But if you want something with genuine presence, the Pagani is simply unmatched. We wouldn't even bother comparing it to other vehicles. It's more like an expensive piece of artwork. But since you can't go 200 miles an hour on the Mona Lisa, we'll go ahead and take the Pagani.